In this video, we learn about classes and constructors in C++. So I am going to discuss the concepts that are useful in the course. So I am using just classes and constructor, not all the features of object orientation. So I will not be discussing everything about OOPS. So here I am going to transform a C language code to C++ code. So we have already seen this in the previous video, this example. So if you have not seen that video, I suggest you to watch that video. This is the best style of coding in C language. I have explained in the previous video. Now I am going to transform this into C++ code, that is using class and also including constructor. So let me show you how to do this. Before that, quickly I will go through this example once again and then I will transform it. See, here I have a structure called a rectangle. This is having length and breadth. And inside the main function, I am creating or declaring a variable of type rectangle. And then inside the main function, if you see, there is no processing involved. There are no operations, just function calls are there. So the function call is for initializing a rectangle and finding the area of a rectangle and changing its length. And in all these functions, I am passing rectangle as a parameter. Right? Initialize function is setting the length and breadth. So it is taking by reference rectangle and taking length and breadth. Area is taking a rectangle. Change length is taking a rectangle by address again, and it is changing length by taking new length. So these are the functions. So if you see those functions, these functions are defined here. And all these functions are related to that rectangle. Now this is the best style of coding in C language. So this I have adopted in my course. Then I have also shown at the places how to transform this into C++. So that style I am discussing now. Let us convert it into C++ code. So watch it very carefully. See, this is a structure. I will call it as a class. Class rectangle. Now, structure is converted to a class. Then this function, initialize, area, change length, all these functions are meant for that structure only. Earlier it was a structure. They are meant for that structure only. If that structure is not there, there is no use of this function. See, it is taking rectangle, it's taking rectangle, it's taking rectangle. So now the question is, why they are outside? Include them inside the class. So my class ends here. So the class starts from here and ends here. So now the class contains data members as well as functions. So these functions have become a part of a class now. See, I'm modifying it. I'm discussing and modifying it. Watch it very carefully. The style is different here. Next, this is a member of a class only. Why does it have to take this rectangle as an argument? Remove this. Then just take length and breadth, two parameters. Then this also, remove this one. It's a part of rectangle only. Just write nothing because it doesn't have to take anything. Rectangle is directly accessible. Length and breadth are directly accessible. Then change length. This also became a part of it. No need of taking this rectangle as a parameter. Only length is required. So just declare length as an argument. So I have made one change. Now few more changes. Again, I'll do it for all the functions. See, this length and breadth are directly accessible. So no need of this variable name. Just length assign L, breadth assign B. Now here, length and breadth are directly accessible. No need of R here because I have removed the parameter. Remove the parameter. Now here also, no need of R. I have removed the parameter. It is directly accessing that length. That's it. So this is initialize function, now area function and change length function. This has become a C++ class. What we do inside our classes, when you have the data members, we declare these data members as private. We declare them as private and we make these functions as public. Because who are accessing these data members? So many functions are there. Why do you need that data to be public? So let us hide it. Everything should be accessible using these functions. So now this has become a class. Now how it will affect inside the main function, I will show that one. Then again I will come back here. Inside the main function, I have created a variable of type rectangle structure. So now I will change it and I will simply say rectangle R. Now we call this as a object. Instead of a variable, we call it as an object. Then how to call these functions? These functions are present inside the rectangle only. So for calling these functions, instead of passing the parameter, I should say r dot initialize, then pass 10, 5. Remove this one. Then call this as r dot area. Remove this one. Then call this as r dot change length. Remove this one and just pass 20. Now you can see that earlier initialize function was taking rectangle as parameter. Now initialize function itself is a part of rectangle now. So this is an object and these are the functions, member functions of that object. So once you create a rectangle, what are the things you get? You get length and breadth. These are the two data members, length and breadth. These are the data members. Along with that, we also get the functions like initialize and area and change length. We get these functions also. These are the member functions. So length and breadth are data members and these are the functions. You can call all of them by using dot operator. So this is the transformation from C language to C++. Now one more thing. If you see this initialize function, this is initializing a rectangle. We need this function because the data members has become private. We cannot directly set the length and breadth. Now when do you use initialization mostly? See, usually when we declare or create an object or declare a variable, that time only we prefer initializing. So declaration and initialization. If you remember a normal variable, if you are declaring an integer type variable, then this is declaration as well as initialization. So we prefer the rectangle is also initialized that time only. So instead of passing it 10, 5 later on, we want to pass 10, 5 here only. We don't want this function. We want direct initialization at the time of declaration only. How it is possible? For that, I should have a function for initialization. But we want it to be called automatically at the time of creation of an object. So yes, same initialize function, I will change the name. I will call it as rectangle. What is this? This is same as class name and no need of void or anything. Just write class name. This is having same name as class name, so this becomes a constructor. Yes, this is a constructor. This will be automatically called whenever we are creating an object. It does the job of initializing an object. Instead of calling that function as initialize, we are calling it as constructor and we are giving the same name as class name. So it's a initializer function. So constructor, we say it's a function which creates the object, and initialize the object, we say like this. So that's what it's having a same name as class name. Now let us look at the class once again. Rectangle class is having private members and the public member function. There's a constructor which is initializing the members, an area function which returns length and breadth by calculating it, and change length. Now these functions are being called here. So let us see the working now. Once we create an object of rectangle by passing 10, 5, then object is created like this and automatically this function is called. This will take 10 and this will take 5. So it will assign 10 and 5. So 10 and 5 are assigned. The next I am calling area function. So this area function will be called upon this rectangle by multiplying length and breadth. It will return the result. So I am not using that value. Then change length. So upon this rectangle only, because this is R, this function is called which will modify length and set it as new length. So I am setting 20, so this will become 20. So this is the style I have adopted for converting C language code to C++ code in my course. Now in the next video you can see I will write on the same class once again, just like a C++ program, right? Write refresh from the beginning.